Today, we're going to talk about the 5 signs that show you're putting yourself last, and worst of all, you don't even realize you're doing it. You take care of everyone, solve others' problems, listen to a friend's drama, organize your children's lives, help your parents. But there's one detail that you're ignoring. This infinite kindness of yours is not a virtue. It seems like it, but it's not. It's a sign that you've disappeared from your own life. And if you don't stop this right now, there won't be anything left of you to give to those you truly love. One very important thing that people don't realize is the difference between being nice and being kind. Because being nice comes from what you learned in childhood. It comes from an absolute neediness and has nothing to do with being a kind person. Because stop and think about the people who are truly kind. A kind person says no. Love, it sets boundaries, and we're going to see all of that today. And if you don't know me, I'm Léia Carvalho, a psychotherapist for over 20 years, specializing in neuroscience, CBT, and psychoanalysis. And in this video, I'm going to show you 5 silent signs that you're putting yourself in last place. I'll also show you how to get out of that last place and be a priority in your life, warning you that the 5th sign is the most dangerous. Do you know why? Because you probably think it's proof of your good character. Now, before we get into these signs, I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine you're on a plane. The lights flash, the pressure drops, and the oxygen masks fall in front of you. What does the flight attendant always say? Put the mask on yourself first. Only then do you help the person next to you. Folks, that's not selfishness, that's physics. If you pass out from lack of oxygen, you can't help anyone. You become one more problem to be solved, you see? So we need to keep that in mind, because in emotional life, you're trying to put the mask on everyone and you're turning blue, out of breath. You think you're a warrior, the pillar of the family, but the truth is that a pillar that doesn't support itself ends up collapsing on top of those it should protect. So putting yourself first isn't about being selfish. It's about being capable. It's about having something real to offer to the other person. No one gives what they don't have. And if you're empty, what you're giving to others is the remains of your exhaustion. It's your neediness, not your love. The first sign is the automatic yes. Someone asks you for a favor, and even before you check your schedule, see how you're feeling, your energy level, before anything else, the word yes has already come out of your mouth automatically. And then it seems like you're very helpful, right? But the truth is that this yes to others is a very violent no to yourself. And every time you accept something you don't want, you're telling your soul, this person's time is more important than mine. Her desire is worth more than my peace. Her health is more important than mine. And I know this path. I know there's a fear of disappointing, a fear of not being a nice person, you know? But let me tell you something. Anyone who only likes you when you say yes doesn't really like you. They like how useful you are to them. Then there's a huge difference between being loved and being useful. So if you stop just being useful today, do you know who will stay by your side? It's the people who truly love you. Those are the people you should invest in, and not those who only seek you out to carry their weight, okay? The second sign is when you stop having a preference. Where are we going for dinner? Whatever. What movie are we going to see? Oh, you can choose whatever you want. You want to be very nice to everyone, and then you get so used to accommodating others' desires. Understand? To complying, to accepting others' desires, that your own will becomes atrophied until it ceases to exist. There comes a time when you don't even know what you like anymore, because you spend years choosing what the other prefers to avoid friction, conflict. It's as if you were a chameleon that changed color so much to blend in with the environment that you forgot what your true color was. So if you don't have an opinion on anything, you're not participating in a relationship either. Do you understand that? You're just taking up space. What are you becoming within this relationship? Having your own will isn't fighting, do you understand? Having your own will is existing. And you need to respect yourself and you need to exist. You do need to say what your will is, even if it's not actually going to count, but you need to express yourself. It starts small. You choose today, you choose a pizza flavor, then you choose which way to go home, then you speak of your right to have a taste, a will. I prefer it this way, I prefer it that way. It doesn't mean you're imposing anything on anyone. It just means you exist, you have tastes, you have desires, you have a will. The third sign is guilt. Guilt for resting. Can you believe it? You know that Sunday afternoon when you sit on the couch to watch a movie and start thinking about the dishes to wash, the clothes to put away, the email to answer, the message you didn't reply to? Then you simply can't relax because you feel like you don't deserve it. If everything isn't ready, if things aren't all finished first, you simply cannot rest. It's not a well-deserved rest, and you really can't do it. Now I have to tell you something important. Rest is not a reward for productivity. Rest is a necessity for the body, an emotional necessity as well. You don't need to deserve rest. You need to rest in order to stay alive and healthy. When you feel guilty for stopping, because there's still stuff to do, you are treating yourself as if you were a machine and not a human being. We need to have a lighter life, a more relaxed one. We need to laugh more at things and take them less seriously. Because machines, they either stop for maintenance or they break down for good, right? You don't have spare parts. You are the owner of the factory. So stop demanding from yourself as if you were a slave, that you can only rest after everything is done. And you keep practicing this as a practice. Yeah, the fourth sign, it represents an imbalance in listening. You are that person that everyone looks for to vent. You spend hours on the phone listening to the neighbor's problem, the colleagues, the cousins. When it's your turn to speak, it seems like there's no one to talk to. Yeah. Or else you start, like someone offers to listen to you, you start talking, and in 2 minutes, you realize you're talking about the other person. The subject turns to the other person, it leaves you. Have you noticed that? Do you know why that happens? Because you've trained people to see you as if you were a dumping ground for their emotions, for their problems. An emotional dumping ground. You accept everything, hear everything, welcome everything, and you don't set limits. Sometimes you're exhausted, you can't take it anymore, and you stay there listening because you think you have to help. Yeah, you've become the strong friend. There's a problem with being the strong friend. No one thinks that you need a shoulder, affection, or care, but you do need it. Everyone does. Not even you sometimes think you need it. You've trained everyone so much to see you as strong that it's so hard to be fragile, to be weak. So, if your relationships, they are a one-way street where you only give and never receive, that's not friendship, okay? That's a type of exploitation that you yourself allowed. There is a responsibility on your part if you, for example, don't occasionally say, "Today I can't listen to you because today I'm not doing well. Today I can't handle it." Or else, "Today I need to be heard." Understand? Uh, you're a human being. You need to understand this. It puts you very much in last place. And the fifth sign, it's the most dangerous of all. It is resentment. Resentment is always very dangerous. You do everything for others, but deep down, okay, you feel a hidden resentment, sometimes even anger, a feeling that nobody does anything for you, that you do everything for others and nobody does anything for you. And you sometimes think that people are ungrateful and that this resentment is because of that. But let me tell you something important, a truth that might really bother you. The anger is never about the other person. The anger is always at yourself because deep down you know that it's happening because you couldn't say no. And resentment is a poison that you keep drinking, thinking that it will reach the other person, but it only reaches yourself. You keep trying to collect on a debt that the other person doesn't even know they owe you. So if you do something expecting recognition, and 99.9% of the time it's like that, no matter how much you think you're being a good person, There's a side of you that expects recognition and gratitude. It's natural. There's a side of you that expects the other person to return that friendship, that affection, that welcoming back. And when you do that, you're just being nice and not kind. Kindness sets boundaries. Kindness says no. When you're a good mother, you take your child to get vaccinated, you take your child to feel pain from an abscess that's going to be drained. You say no to your child and set limits so that they learn how to live and don't get beaten down by life. And that is the purest love there is. Kindness that says yes all the time, that's available 100% of the time, and that doesn't consider its own difficulties, isn't kindness. It's the nice girl syndrome that you learned since childhood, understand? You need to understand that the world doesn't treat you the way you treat the world. The world treats you the way you treat yourself. If you treat yourself like someone who's in last place, that's the place where everyone is going to put you. Putting yourself first isn't an event, it's a daily practice. You start by asserting yourself, taking a stand, stating your preferences, saying no. You can start slow. You start by taking 5 minutes of silence just for yourself. You start by choosing what you want to eat without asking the rest of the house first. What do you guys want to eat? You've spent too much time being the background of other people's lives. It's time for you to be the protagonist of your own life. And if you recognize yourself in these signs, leave a comment. Click the bell, share this video, because many people need to understand what's happening in their own lives. Okay, my love. See you in the next video. Kisses.